Gather round. It's time for your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group at Coldwell Banker. Listen closely as your coaches discuss the culture, the economy, and the political scene, and how it affects your home and your real estate investments. Real Estate Chalk Talk is where you learn the science of buying and selling real estate and the art of living in your home. Your education begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey there, welcome to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, hittnergroup.com, Hittner Group, all one word, hittnergroup.com, 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. Give us a ring-a-ling-a-ling, and we'd be happy to help you with all your real estate needs. And, of course, that call is with no cost and absolutely no obligation. Mike Hilborn's in the studio with us this time, giving us color commentary on everything that we have to say. Welcome to the program.
Hey, guys. Thanks.
Love having you here.
Love being here.
Okay, so this week, normally in the first segment, I do a real estate roundup.
Yep. What do we got going on?
I'm not doing a real estate roundup again because
that's
it's just
why people tune in.
I know it, but it's the same as it is every week. Inventory is short, 6,000 homes on the market, literally no change. For every house that comes in, there's one that goes out. It's just kind of tinkling along. Days on market continue to slowly increase. Normally we've got an increasing inventory at this time of the year, and that is true to some extent, but it's just like trickling in. It's not a river coming in of new homes for sale. What's really causing the days on market and the inventory swell is homes are selling slower, and so they're staying around longer.
So days on market is increasing.
Days on market increasing.
And we're seeing a lot of, this is really bad, a lot of reduction in sales prices.
And that is, there's two things that I did want to talk about, and that was one of them. Days, the most frequent email notification I get is price adjustments. You know, price adjustments, price reduction, and a lot of incentives. We're seeing incentives from builders coming out with of course it's the Parade of Homes, so they always have their incentives. But you know, kitchen upgrades, basement finishes, closing cost incentives, all of that stuff are going along, trying to push this.
When's
market
the parade
along.
start?
Parade started last weekend.
Last weekend? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still go out? Because back in the day.
Well, I used to be sitting in a model during the parade, but yeah, I like to go out and we've been in a couple of models this week, just checking it out. I was in one yesterday, M&I Homes Rambler house out in Victoria area, and it is gorgeous. I mean, I walk in this house and it's $890,000, so it should be gorgeous because it's not that big, but it's a full walkout, a lower level, all finished, beautiful floor plan, great layouts, great finishes. They do a good job. And I'm in that place and I think, man, I could live here easy. Then I stopped to think, well, for $890,000, you should be able to
like
tough it out.
Yeah, tough it out
and be in there. Anyhow, so getting back to the market, there is the price reductions are a big thing. I was reading an article on Inman, and they were talking about back to work.
Okay.
And what's back to work have to do with housing? And then I saw on Minnesota Business Journal, I think it was, they had another article about back to work and how, of course, employees are, whining and crying about because they have to go back into the office and actually go to work. And it's pretty clear that you're more productive. Companies are more productive when people are back to work. I mean, I have some friends at Seagate, and they're talking about, just from an engineering standpoint, they got a pool of engineers in a group, and they're working on a project, and how much better it is to be able to walk around down to the cubicle down the hall when you've got a problem and say, hey, can you help me with this? You've done this before. What should I do here? And then, 10 minutes, problem solved. And if it's a Zoom thing, then you've got to send out a request for a meeting, and it could be 2 days before you finally get it. And what are you doing in the meantime? Sitting there twiddling your thumbs because you're stuck. So it's clear that back to work in the office is the more productive thing to do. Well, how it ties into real estate is that you have a lot of people. We've helped people sell their house here in Minnesota
and go away
and move to a warmer climate because we can work from anywhere. And so they're working from remote. Now these same companies are calling them back into the office. And they're like, okay.
Well, we did that, and Loan Depot did that as well, back to the office, and they have all the signs like, welcome back. Like, we never skipped a beat going into the office, but we're a California-based company, so probably why, but it's ridiculous.
Well, it is ridiculous.
I think, but.
So now what you've got is a group of people, significant numbers of people, who purchase properties in more like vacation-type areas, for climate or recreation or whatever their reason was for moving. There are no jobs in that area. So
everybody's working remote.
Everyone's working remote. So now their company says you have to come back to the office, which may be 3 states away. And now they've got to sell that house. And who's now, in this environment now, who's going to buy that house? And then, there's a lot of discounting going on. And so they're taking some significant losses on those properties to move back. Now, that doesn't affect us here in Minnesota because no one moved from
somewhere else to come to Minnesota to get away.
And work remotely. But it does affect some of the people who are working for companies in Minnesota who move to warmer climates, move to Texas or wherever they move to. And now their Minnesota companies are calling them back to work. And, there's some gnashing of teeth going on.
Yeah, for sure.
So I thought that was a pretty interesting dynamic there. And because of the numbers, I mean, there's large numbers of people. And when last couple years, it was the attitude was, screw them, I'll just get a job somewhere else then. Well, that isn't happening now. Because companies you see every day, there's announcements of layoffs. And the people who are being laid off, I know people who have gotten laid off with large corporations, and it's the remote workers, the ones that go first. They're the ones that get peeled off first. And because they're not as productive. And
what are you seeing, not to shift gear, what are you seeing activity-wise for the market right now? Are you seeing a slowdown on new home inventory coming on or not?
There's not a slowdown.
Okay.
It's never been fast. So it's kind of hard. When you're already slow, it's kind of hard to go slower. It's kind of just plinking along like that.
Is that what you're seeing with the realtors on your team as well? Everybody just kind of...
Well, they're kind of... half the real estate agents have just kind of gone... More than half the real estate agents in the country have not sold a house in over a year. So, I mean, that's just...
Over half?
Over half.
Wow.
In the country have not sold a house in a year. So, I mean, that's kind of what gives you an insight into the state of our corporate culture in terms of that. So a lot of these companies, these real estate companies, who laud the number of agents they have, it's just an empty statistic because you can have 150,000 agents, that are members of your company, and just by the stats, half of them haven't sold a house in a year, and they're going to be gone the next licensing renewal. We've already lost 60,000 agents this year who have just gotten out of the business.
Are you seeing that in Minnesota too? Because it seems
we're
like
seeing
there's a realtor on every corner right
There
now.
is a real estate agent on every corner, and that's a problem because you've got so many agents that are just not proficient in the trade, and they don't sell enough to be. This is a business where you learn by doing. You can go to class and learn the statutes and the laws pretty quickly, and then your expertise is developed in the field, much like any other trade. And I see this as a trade, not necessarily a profession, but you have to get out in the field and do the work. It's like a plumber, an electrician, or a hairstylist, or whatever it is. You learn by doing. And there's so many nuances that come with a real estate transaction that pop up, that there's no way to put that in a textbook.
So you see less agents being licensed in Minnesota as well, going forward?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that will fall off. It always does when the market tails off. And next year we're going to see a real fall off in 2024. There'll be
Why do you think that?
Because the market isn't going to improve. And
you don't think so?
No, I don't think it will at all. So then you see...
Mike, he's kind of a pessimist.
Well, I'm just realistic. I mean, what's going to make it improve? What do you see that's going to make anything get better?
Attitudes.
Attitude doesn't
change.
You've got my wife pointed out to me, she said, look at the people living on their credit cards. Right now they're spending like they were. Credit card balances are increasing. Don't you find that in your loan applications? I mean, credit card balances are increasing. At some point they're going to hit the wall where people just can't put any more on the Visa.
Right.
When that happens, they stop buying.
Well, repos are way up.
And repos are starting to
way
increase.
Up. Yeah. And then the banks are paying a premium to get, because there aren't that many repo people doing the repoing. So you pay a premium to get your car back.
Yeah.
Interesting. Take us out.
This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. HittnerGroup.com, HITTNER Group, all one word. HittnerGroup.com, 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. Give us a ring-a-ling-ling. Be happy to have a chat with you about your real estate needs, and we'll be right back after these messages. Hey, welcome back to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. HittnerGroup.com, HITTNER Group.com, 612-627-8000 is the number to call, 612-627-8000. Mike Hilborn's in the studio. I got a question for you, Mike.
Yeah.
So I fill my truck up with petrol, gas, carbon, petrol the other day, and it's like $100 and change on there, $4 and some odd cents a gallon. So I'm always curious. I grew up my dad had a trucking company. My brother took it over and ran it for many years. And so I'm conscious of the cost of running a fleet. You got a fleet of vehicles, and all the vehicles that you have in all of your businesses year round are burning fuel going from point A to point B. How do you compensate for that, or what's the impact on you when you have fluctuating costs of fuels where they're going up and they're going down, and they're 50 cents more this month and 50 cents less the next month? Maybe it's going to be $1 more in the winter. How do you deal with that?
That's funny because I don't do any fuel surcharges or anything.
That's what I thought your answer would be.
No, I don't. Maybe I should. It's still such a small percentage of the overall everything. I don't really think about it. And we've been high before. It was, remember, whatever it was, 2008, 9 or whatever, gas in Chicago was $5 a gallon. It's what was it, $3.90 or $3.60? I'm like, ooh, good. It's only $3.60.
Why, when I was a kid, my dad, I remember when he did this, he put in fuel tanks, big tanks like a gas station, at our shop.
Yep.
Because then he could have a transport come in. And if he bought gas by the transport coming in 10,000 gallons at a time, he could save himself 5 cents a gallon or something.
That's what you see all the farmers do in Iowa. They all have big things on their farm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mansfield is a company that does that. That's one of them, right? And, and they're one of my customers that we wash their trucks.
Okay.
And I've had that conversation where they were going to put a fuel thing at my place and all that kind of stuff. I said, well, maybe next year.
It's interesting that you don't charge, because we at the restaurant for the food delivery service, they started charging a fuel service charge a few years ago, and it's something that never quite went away.
Never goes away.
It never goes away.
No.
Like taxes.
Like taxes. Even when the fuel costs go down, it doesn't go away. I'm cognizant of it because I drive for a living. I mean, I'm driving around looking at houses, and I'll burn up a tank of gas sometimes in a day. So when someone calls and says, "Hey, can we go looking at houses? We want to look up in Coon Rapids." It's like, okay, it's going to be $100 a day to drive up to Coon Rapids and spin around looking at houses. We got to make sure that these people are serious about just from a business standpoint, because we don't go looking for fun anymore.
Right.
Those days are gone.
Right.
And then with the rule changes and things like that. So tell us that for people who maybe are first tuning in, just kind of your scope of businesses and all the difference, because you're seasonal businesses, you're busy all year round, and you've structured it that way, which I think is genius.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So the way I describe this is we're a calendar-driven company. Depending on time of year, depends on what we're doing. So April through October, we power wash and stain decks, fences, gazebos, porches, cedar shake roofs, asphalt roofs. I drove by your house the other day. Your asphalt roof's getting pretty dirty. And then
it's going to get replaced.
Okay, good. And then we also wash parking garages, really big ones for like the U of M, United Health, and then condos and apartment buildings. We do a lot of that. Fleet washing, so we're washing trucks for Coca-Cola, FedEx, 2 minute a truck, and that part of our business is doing great, really growing.
That's an on-site
Yeah, we go to them and
Okay.
we wash them on site. Yeah,
You have a big water tank then?
Yeah, we carry about 1,000 gallons of water that we have. Burns diesel, so it heats the water. Soap and water, like washing your hands, hot water will clean your hands faster and better than cold water, that sort of thing. So that's pretty much our summer businesses, and then right now it's Christmas lighting, and then it's ice dam removal and snow plowing. And the snow plowing thing is fascinating if you want to talk about that. But that's what keeps our guys working all the time, and that's the key, right? Because we have, man, you would not believe how great our guys are. I've never been more happy, more excited, more just in awe, and just grateful for everything that is going on at the company right now. It's unbelievable.
That's terrific.
So you guys are skilled in all these different aspects?
Well, it's funny. The guys that power wash and stain wood decks, they love putting up Christmas lighting. The guys that wash trucks hate it.
Really?
Yeah, go figure, right?
Huh.
What's the who cares?
Right? Who cares?
Yeah, but they do, and it's like, okay, so I got my Christmas lighting guys that they just love it, and customers are great. They'll tip sometimes, it's amazing. And so everybody kind of has their thing, and then everybody does snow, and everybody loves snow. And ice, everybody loves ice because ice dams are a life-changing event. It pays that well. Yeah.
Say that.
Interesting.
Explain that to me. A life-changing event.
I'll have guys that make $600-700 every day.
Okay.
Doing ice dams, and do that for 20 days. Make $14,000. You know what? These guys people that make $25 an hour make $14,000 in 30 days. That's life-changing. That'll change everything.
That's awesome.
It is. It's amazing. And
so
don't you?
But you still do the trucks and the power washing during the winter, don't you? In fall, because they have to still.
Yeah. No, it's year round.
So how do you do that?
It's
that you're not creating this ice. This ice pond around.
Oh well, no. You can't do it when it's too cold, and we'll use salt to make sure no one slips and things like that.
Okay.
You mitigate certain things, and not every day is super cold. And yeah, and how ice sublimates, right? Where it just disappears all on its own. It's weird.
Talk about, if you can, because you have a really good program with employee retention and attracting employees. It seems like you always have workers that want to work for you. Tell us, how do you do that? Because so many companies, even now, are just struggling to find good people that will show up to work.
So we pay well. We pay $25 an hour starting, which these days still is like, how do you live on that? But that's good. That's really good. I gave the whole company. All my guys went from 20. It gave everybody a $5 raise a couple months ago. It's like, that's it, 25%. With what's going on with inflation, there's no way you guys can afford to live without if we don't do this. So that was a nice deal. And then people like to stay, and it's just a really, really, really strong, positive place to work. And the more positive it is, the more positive it gets. You know what I mean? It just kind of builds on itself. I'm frankly, it's all very interesting to me right now because it's never been this good. All the way around.
So how do you instill that positivity into the workforce? I mean, do you have programs that you do?
Just paid them all more.
Well, I know, but money only goes so far. You can still have someone making a lot of money with a piss poor attitude. I mean, you can. There's always that negative Nelly in the mix that you have to deal with. But to create a culture of positivity is so powerful.
Well, it's just respect, right? I mean, what do men want more than anything in the whole world? Literally everything. Marriage, everything. What's the top thing? Respect. It is. It is the key to everything, and it's just a really great, respectful thing. And productivity. I mean, that's how you measure everything, right? How productive. And my guys have never been more productive. It's unreal.
How do you track that, though? Saying they're more productive than ever means nothing unless you're tracking.
Yeah, no, we know how much revenue each guy does every single day, and we add it up at the end of the week, divide it by how much I pay them, and there's a number, right? And it's like if you're less than 20%, golden. If other parts are less than 25%, so if we do if a guy does $1,000 in revenue, certain jobs, as long as I don't pay him more than $200 to do that 1,000, I'm good. In other, like the fleet washing, as long as I don't have to pay him $25 more than $25 out of 1,000. Right.
Okay, 25% of whatever the revenue is for that job.
Yeah, so it's just that simple. And these are hourly jobs. I mean, so we're not paying
Those are
commission.
key indicators.
We're not doing any commission or anything
Right.
like that. It's like, look, if it takes a long time to do a good job, take a long time to do a good job. I don't want you to be like, okay, the faster I do it, the more I make. No, do great work. Don't break your back, but don't sit on your phone. Just do good work, and the numbers should work. So we track all that stuff. We do. I make breakfast, and this is whatever, but I make breakfast once a month on a Wednesday. It's called Breakfast Wednesday, and it's an opportunity for me to serve the guys instead of them serve me. So then I set up the tables. I mean, I kind of like make sure I want to do all the work. I clean the dishes, right? And and I get to say hi because I don't really get to talk to them as much as I used to when it was a little. We're not big, but we're not tiny anymore either.
Yeah.
So that helps. And then we're consistent. We're going to make sure you're always working, kind of thing. I don't know. It's just it's a bunch of stuff. And I was talking to you guys a while ago, a couple of shows ago. We're doing that EOS thing, that traction book kind of thing.
Yeah, I've got questions for that after next segment.
Gosh,
so
guys,
why don't you take us out? And then
I want to take you out
because
because I just want to. That respect is sticking in my mind. I wrote it down because I want to address that a little bit too. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, HittnerGroup.com, HITTNER, HittnerGroup.com, 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. Give us a ring-a-ling-a-ling. We'd be happy to help you with your real estate needs. And, of course, that first conversation with no cost and absolutely no obligation. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, HittnerGroup.com, HITTNER Group.com. Mike Hilborn is in the studio. Mike, last segment you talked about respect, and I'm thinking about how do you voice that? And I'm reminded actually of a high school teacher, and he was a shop teacher of all things. That's back when they actually taught shop.
Loved it, yeah.
Mechanics and stuff. And everyone, it was always Mr. Hittner. He never addressed people by their first name. It was always Mr. And it was just a sign of respect. When you were in the shop class, you were treated with respect. And it was just, and he was people loved this guy. And I remember one time I had a pack of cigarettes in my pocket, and of course you weren't supposed to smoke, so I'm a smart ass, so I got this pack of cigarettes in my pocket, and he reaches and he grabs the cigarettes out of my pocket, and he said, I'll enjoy these on my break. All right. Calvin, you had some questions.
Well, you didn't ask him how. You were asking
I
him
was
a
just
question.
making a comment about respect.
Oh, you weren't asking him his
No.
opinion. Okay, you just wanted to talk about your experience.
About my experience
All
in
right.
high school with respect.
Okay. Well, so I got 3 questions for you. Of all the different business units you have, is it kind of like sports when you're in high school? Like, hey, I love basketball because it's basketball season. Then I love football because it's football season. I like soccer. Is it that way, or is there one aspect of the business that you're like, God, I just love this piece of it?
Well, ice stamps is the most fun that you'll ever have in your life.
Ice stamps.
It's
Ice stamps.
by far the most. I have never had as much on a vacation as I've had when we're in the middle of ice stamps. It is. Everybody is doing so well, right? And you're just.
So you're working
taking a
hard
hill.
and you're celebrating.
You're taking a hill, and I've had guys come up to me just like, this is unbelievable. I mean, I've had guys when I've been in Chicago, and the guy's worked for 2 weeks, and he'll come back and he'll say, I have never seen anything like this. I said, I know. And everybody is got the same goal, the same pursuit. It's indescribable. It is the most fun you'll ever have. So that's my favorite.
Is it also
Okay, so
because
ice
there's a sense of urgency to it? I mean, from a customer standpoint, when you have ice dams on, you got water running in your house, there's some urgency there.
Yeah.
That needs to be like it's an emergency. You got to get out there. You got to get out there and get it done.
It's so satisfying to do. You're melting ice with hot water. I don't know. I don't even know what it. Maybe it's something deep in us or something. You're solving this major problem. It's really something.
That's funny.
Yeah. So anyway,
So
but
ice dams.
And you can't count on it. So
Yep.
there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It happens once every 4 years, and it lasts for 3 or 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
So you can get excited about something that's that short.
Yeah.
And then the guys have been with me for a long time. You don't miss one day.
Yeah.
You work 7 days a week.
Yep.
You work
Because it's
from
going away.
7 in the morning till 10, 11, 12 at night. I had a guy one time call me at 2 in the morning, one of my guys, saying, okay, I got done. I need another one. It's like, no, it's 2 in the morning. Go to bed, It's short and it doesn't last. And then the guys that are in it are like, oh, man, this is great. And this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
No. The sun, if we don't melt the ice, the sun's going to do it for us, okay? And it's like, yeah, well, my girlfriend. Oh, come on, your girlfriend. Who's in charge here?
Yeah.
No, you're working.
Yeah.
You're working right now.
Yeah.
So second question, how's business? Because you hear Keith talking about real estate and the market and blah, negative Nelly over here. How's business for you? Just kidding.
No, business.
And what's been good?
Look, I don't know what's going on, but we are in this wonderful, magical world where I'm living right now. So, but our deck business used to be a $2 million business.
Okay.
It went, during COVID, it actually did well, but then last year was 1.3 million. So 2 to 1.3. That's a disaster.
Notice it. Yeah.
That's a disaster. Okay. This year, I don't know if we'll do 1.1. So,
do you think that's what's the reason for that?
Yeah.
Look, I don't see competitors out there. In fact, I see fewer competitors now than I used to. I don't know what's going on out there. I just think people, it's like, look, I've got a deck. I don't have the money. We're a maintenance company, so we're going to be fine because you have to maintain everything you have. But I'll wait a year or two or whatever.
Okay.
So
do you think that it's maybe artificial or synthetic deck surfaces?
Not that fast. I could see that going like to 1.8, 1.6, 1.5.
Like I did with the Christmas tree business.
Something slow. But to go off a cliff.
Yeah.
No. In fact, when I do Parade of Homes, okay, you guys mentioned that, I see more wood, not less. I mean, who puts plastic in their house? Nobody. And it doesn't look good. There's aspects of it that if you do it right, you should have a wood floor and then do metal or composite railings. That's what you should do if you build a deck. But nobody wants a plastic piece of furniture. So it's like 10% of the market.
Okay, so we asked it, like, how's business, and you're saying good. So, but you said it was horrible. So what's good then?
All of our stuff is firing. So everything's making money. So Dex is still making money. It's just you pivot. The commercial fleet washing thing, all the competitors are gone. We're doing well there. In fact, I bought a fleet. I had to fly down to Louisville, bought a truck, drove it back. I'm flying out to Washington, Seattle, bought another one to bring it back. We're buying stuff. How crazy is that?
So how are you finding these?
Well, you go Ryder. I buy all my trucks through Ryder.
Okay.
So you just go on nationwide search.
Okay.
What's unique about us? They have to be an 18-foot box, and there'll be one in the whole country that's an 18-foot box. Most are 26.
Okay.
We don't need big. We need just the right size.
Okay.
Okay. So everything's working well. Yeah, everything's working well.
Okay. And then power washing, garages, all that. It
was great. Still great. People wash them at the end.
How do you?
It slowed down in August, and now it's busy September and October.
That's great.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Okay. Next question for you. My last one is talk about. You've been doing some of this coaching through Traction. Talk about that, and then what
is that?
Okay,
Yeah.
So there's this book called Traction. If you're a business owner and you're hearing my voice right now, it'll be the most important thing you ever do. Buy the book, read it. Because you guys aren't big fans of it. Okay, I'm telling you, for me, changed everything. So we have never been smoother. Everybody's connected. We know we're a $5 million company, right? In 3 years, by the end of 2025, we're going to be a $10 million company. I wouldn't have even come up with that without this. We got a coach. We just had our quarterly. It's $6,500 for one day.
What's he do?
Just walks you through. Make sure you're doing.
Is he
all
a
the stuff
coach or a consultant?
Coach. It's not even a consultant. He
kind of both, right?
No, it's a once a quarter thing now. So every quarter it's $6,500 to him, and he just makes sure that we set our goals the right way, that we're focused on the right thing. Yeah, all that stuff. It's like, okay, well, Mike, why can't you do that on your own? Because I can't. Okay, I can't. There's no way. So that's been unbelievable. And then the other thing, it's changed everything for me. And maybe you have to be at a certain size, because they tell me, Mike, you're the right size. $5 million is about where you can afford this, or this makes the most sense because it's big enough and all that stuff. Yeah. So bigger, I'm sure, would be even better. But we're in the right zone. But a year ago, a little over a year ago, I went to a snow plowing conference to find out how I need somebody to teach me everything about commercial snow plowing. I'm 60. I don't have time to figure this thing out.
Right.
No way. And we did. We found the guy. And he is telling us everything. And we're paying him, every month, and we get 4 hours of his time every single week, plus some emails and stuff. And I'm telling you, you guys, I will never, ever do anything ever again without somebody telling me how to do it. I'm never going to do it again. So here's an example. I've got a mechanic, and I'm hiring a second mechanic, and I'm finding a consultant to tell me, how do you run your mechanic shop in your business? Somebody's going to tell me how to do that, because I am not going to try to figure this out on my own. And I already know what.
Right, because you don't have time.
No, and look, the guy's 10 years he's been doing it.
Yeah.
He's an expert.
Right.
Golfing. I just took golf lessons for this first time like a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world was I thinking that I didn't do this 20 years ago? That I would really figure out how to swing? I thought I was going to figure that out. The arrogance is annoying.
Yeah.
No, tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
So no, everything. I'm telling you guys, everything. And I think it's the best money you'll ever spend in your life.
I struggle with that because I think you're telling, like, running your mechanics. You have a broke down truck, you bring it in, you fix it.
Right.
Next one. Okay. So you can pay me.
It's
can
not
tell
that,
you guys.
I know. Right? Because it seems so
simple.
simple.
Seems really simple.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because
what's complicated about that?
I need a guy.
Okay.
Okay, I have a great mechanic. Guess what? He doesn't like fixing stuff.
Huh.
He doesn't like it. Okay, so I have to build a system where he's motivated to fix stuff. I mean, I walk around my shop, I see broken stuff, and I'm thinking, why do I have broken stuff? I have a mechanic right there.
Yeah. That knows how to do everything.
Knows how to do it.
So
but I can't motivate him to do it, right? It's like, okay, so obviously I'm missing something here. So I'm going to find, I got to find a second mechanic because we're doing the snow plowing.
You got to treat him with respect.
Yeah, that did sound very respectful, didn't it? Touche.
This is your real estate chalk talk.
That was awesome.
With the Hittner Group, 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. We'll be right back with the money segment of the big program. Going to find out that rates have fallen through the floor with Calvin Kamick.
But we're going to wrap.
Money in the bank.
Rates are good. Pretty exciting. You know why?
Why?
Free money. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, thanks for staying with us. Welcome back to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. 612-627-8000. 612-627-8000. The Money Man's in the studio, like every week. Calvin, what's going on with the markets?
You gave a nice teaser at the end of the last segment saying rates have dropped, but you were lying.
Oh, no. I thought they did for sure.
I wish
You've been
they
telling
did.
me since May that they're going to...
May 10th.
May 10th. They
Start turning around.
I must have the wrong year.
Yep. Hey, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
May 10th of 25?
24.
Okay.
We'll be good. No, so rates just continue. We didn't see a lot of up or down movement this week. It's just staying steady, but you're mid-sevens, pay, and that's with a point discount. So, you can't get a par rate hardly anymore. So you're always paying for your rate. They've got to open the 8% tranche. They haven't yet.
Do you think that when the Fed's going to raise their rates again?
They say that everybody's starting now to price in another move.
Yep. So where does that put you? Where do you think that's going to put you? You think we're going to see 8% by the end of the year?
We're 7.99 now.
Okay, so that'll be we're going to be in the eights.
Yep. And every prediction shows that we'll be high sevens, low eights until the end of the first quarter now. We have Barry Habib, who is kind of the guy we listen to on a lot of this. We have an hour deal with him today, so I'm going to put a bunch of stuff out today on where things are going. But he's also the one that said May 10th we're going to start to see things shift and move, and then they show the 100-day average, 200-day average, this, and then it doesn't happen. Then they're just like all of us, and they go, we've never seen this before. We just don't know. And that's the thing that you just kind of go after a while. You just go, I don't know for sure. I know they're going to come back down. It's a matter of when. Quite honestly, I think we got to get in closer to an election cycle so that.
You think the Fed then will start buying mortgage-backed securities again?
No, I think they're just going to stop I was going to use the wrong word. They're going to stop messing with it.
Okay.
Just leave things alone. Let the market dictate where we should be instead of everybody having their hands in the pot. They made money too cheap for a long time,
right,
and now they're making money way too expensive. Leave it alone. Let the market dictate where it should be, because right now rates should be, because I had 7 corporate people out this week and they're doing their dog and pony, and that's great, but I kind of hate that stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's still good. But they're talking like if you just left things alone, rates would be high 5s right now. But the Fed's overinflating because they're trying to slow down the economy. They were under, it's just like leave everything alone. Things will be okay, and rates would be mid to high 5s, and that's kind of where I think we will get back to. But it's frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
One of the things we're telling people, because we're getting people getting stung on this, you got to get pre-approved. If you haven't been pre-approved in the last 30 days, you got to get pre-approved again, because when you got pre-approved and the rate was 5.99 then 6.99, now it's 7.5. You got to make sure, like if you're tipping,
right,
you might tip over and go,
I can't afford it.
You can't afford this house anymore.
Right.
You just can't afford it. So that's one thing that we have to make sure we talk about. The other thing I just want to put out there that you talked about in the first segment is just we are seeing that increase in credit card debt. We're going to see the short-term money getting used up because everybody got used to living on some sort of retainer from the government, like, oh, it's COVID, or we feel bad for you this way, that way, here's some money. And everybody just starts spending. We're still doing it, and things have slowed down. There's going to become that tipping point, and now we're already seeing cash out refinances to pay off credit card debt right now, because you go, hey, cash out refi 8%, 7.99, that's super high. It's not nearly as high as 29%, which is on your freaking credit card. Pardon my language. It's on your credit card now. Rates are going through the roof in every arena, and people don't realize it. They're doing their minimum payment on their credit card and don't realize that they're getting charged 27%. So there's going to be a shift in a reckoning going, you know what? I've got to give up my 3.5% rate, my 4% rate, because you know what? 4% here, but 25% here.
On a maxed out card.
I'm never going to get out of this. So I'm just going to, and I have equity in my home because there aren't homes. You know what I mean? So so we're looking at that going, okay, and our corporate guys are just saying, hey, hang in there, right? We have $1 billion of cash. We can run. Everyone else is going to, it's tough sledding for lenders out there. We've talked about this in past. I've been doing this 21 years, and there's not one company that still exists today that I worked for, other than Loan Depot, which is the largest lender in the country. So that's crazy, right? They've all sold, they've renamed, they've done this, they sold out to the big companies, because you just cannot be a small shop anymore. So that's going on. VA, if you're a veteran, make sure you talk to us, because we have no lender fees now for veterans. We also have an employer. You should do this for your employees. We have a program now where 0 lender fees when we have a corporate program set up, and it's just a benefit. So you can just say, hey guys, we have this benefit through Loan Depot. You don't pay any lender fees. Just talk to my guys.
This is for buying a house.
Yep, for buying a house. So if they want to buy a house, no lender fees.
I wish you loaned other money.
Trying. I'm trying.
Okay,
I know you need money on other things, but
yeah, I wish you did equipment loans.
I know.
That'd be so great.
I was actually looking into that because I know you need it. So anyway, that's what's kind of going on in the mortgage market right now, and it's a good time to be in the business. It's always fun to have conversations. It's just, it's different. It's counseling, right? It's coaching. It's consulting. It's making sure people are really prepared, and it's discouraging sometimes, and it's encouraging sometimes because people are going, oh, good, we can get in. There's some good programs out there. So.
Well, the good news is that people still live their lives.
Yep.
And our business is based off of lifestyle, and they get married.
And life stages, right?
Life stages. They get married. They get divorced. They have kids. They graduate from college. They form households. They dissolution households. All that stuff is money in motion, people have different needs based on whatever stage they are in their life, and they're gonna move towards that housing style that better fits their current lifestyle. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
The days of speculation are probably out the window for some time, and I think that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
So I want to shift back to Mike here real quick.
Okay.
Continue talking a little bit about the coaching that you're doing, and what has been a benefit from you that you've gotten from it. You say it's awesome, it's great, but that doesn't really help.
I'm curious about personally growth, your personal growth.
I'm curious how you got your headset
that's
to look
interesting.
that interesting.
Okay, that's it. That's a whole that's a big one, man. That's a big one.
You
we won't go there.
minutes.
We won't go there, but I would love to have that conversation. Okay, so here's an example. We've always been an advertising organization, right? Advertise. So we run an ad, people call, we go out, we give them a price, and there you go. Okay. We've never been a sales organization, right? Well, now we need to learn how to sell. We need to go to commercial accounts.
Okay.
We need to go find
business
the
business. To business is
right.
different.
We need to find it, and then once we find it, we need to be able to put together a powerful argument, right? Okay. Start that from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay. Now. So this guy, we have one-on-one meeting. There's 3 of us that are selling: Maddie, Jamry, and then me. And I sell snow and Christmas lighting, and mine's the best because it's a short little window.
Okay.
And those are all other year-round things. What CRM do you use? What indicators do you use? What measurements? What reporting? How should you make your phone call? I mean, okay, come up with all those answers, right? Read a book. Again, I can't do it. So we got a guy. 1 hour a week he spends with each of us for a whole hour on Zoom. He's from Boston. Guy's the most amazing guy. He's unbelievable. I mean, it's indescribable. And then we have a group meeting where the 4 of us.
And where'd you get him? Where'd you find him?
I went to Milwaukee and I said, I need somebody to teach me about snow.
We went to Milwaukee. What's that?
Well, they had a convention there.
They
had a convention there.
Okay.
And I'm walking around, and he goes, oh yeah, and I was at this weird dinner sponsored thing, and I'm telling it's like I need a guy, and they go, oh yeah, there's a guy named Neil. He's going to be at someone's booth tomorrow. And I go down there's Neil, and it's not even his booth. And I say to him, I need help with this. He goes, Mike, I'm it. I'm the guy. And I said, no, Neil, you need to understand something. I know nothing about this. Nothing. He goes, perfect.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to learn any bad habits.
You don't have to unlearn.
And and so he has these events, and he's got a partner named Phil, and I've even put Phil on retainer.
Okay.
I'm not doing any more of this stuff on my own. Somebody's going to tell me what to do. And it's just
tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Money in the bank, it's probably going to be a 10-to-1 return on investment.
That's so great.
Yeah, and everybody,
well,
my customer wins.
We're going to have you back because I'm curious now. You got my curiosity piqued about your personal growth.
Oh, yeah.
As a result of all this. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. HittnerGroup.com, HITTNER Group, all one word. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no, you guys are always great.
612-627-8000 if you want to chat about buying or selling some real estate. If you need money, call Kelvin. 651-231-2500. He'll coach you through and give you some options. That's what we love about him. He gives you options so that should I do this? Should I do that? What's better for me? Everyone's different. Everyone's situation is different, and you treat people as individuals, which is
with respect.
With respect.
Look, and if I could say, there's a trust thing with Kelvin. It's like I get so many offers for money on these different things, and it's like, oh no, I don't trust them.
Yeah.
I just need somebody that will tell me the truth.
That's right.
That's why you need to do this.
We'll see you next week.